For 30 years, Ultraman has protected Earth using his amazing powers to keep everyone safe, and he calls it maintaining balance. Being a hero is more challenging than it seems, as one must make the tough choices to decide who matters most. In Odaiba, Japan, a young Kenji Sato plays a pretend hero with his parents, Hayao and Emiko. While asking the big question of who he would choose between Ultraman and Matsui, the greatest baseball player ever, they suddenly feel the ground shake. They later receive a distress call from Dr. Onda, who warns them that their lives are in danger as Gigantron is headed their way. Determined to protect his family, Dr. Sato confronts Gigantron, later revealed to be Ultraman, and the two then fight in an epic battle. 20 years have passed, and despite his father wanting him to carry the torch and become Ultraman, Kenji Sato has decided to focus on his baseball career. A rising superstar, Kenji impulsively leaves the San Francisco Dodgers to become a member of the Tokyo Giants. During the press conference, reporter Ami Wakita questions his decision to abruptly abandon his former team on the verge of winning the championship. She suspects that his decision is connected to the recent loss of his mother and some unfinished family business. Kenji chokes up, unable to answer the question. He then walks away, claiming to attend a fan event, later revealed as a Kaiju appearance in Akihabara. Kenji quickly rushes to Akihabara to stop the Kaiju Noronga from rampaging. He struggles to defeat it while showing off every chance he gets. When Noronga wouldn't stand down, he sent it flying away with a powerful punch, but it got back up and charged at him. As it beats him up, the Kaiju Defense Force, or the KDF, shows up and restrains Noronga. They then warn Kenji to retreat as he isn't an authorized government agent. Ultraman's AI, Mina, warns Kenji that his color timer changes when he is stressed, and eventually, he reverts to being a human and loses his powers. He manages to escape before he reverts to being a human as more of the KDF arrive at the scene. Kenji claims he's had enough fighting for one night and decides to leave the Kaiju to the KDF. As he left the battlefield, his father left multiple messages urging him to return and fight. Much to his dismay, Mina reminds him that he is running late for his interview with Ms. Wakita. During the interview, Ami struggles to understand that despite Kenji's impressive baseball career, he has never won a championship title. She tries to bring up his mother again, which Kenji seems displeased talking about. Suddenly, Ami's daughter Chiho interrupts the interview, who is playing superhero as Ultraman. At his debut game, Kenji proves to everyone that all the rumors and fuss are true when he scores a home run. Suddenly, Tokyo is attacked by Gigantron, who appears to be following the KDF's black jets. Dr. Onda orders all jets to scramble and kill Gigantron while recovering the package. Kenji quickly jumps into battle and attacks with a powerful punch. Gigantron knocks him down. It then flies away with the package, to which black jets of the KDF give chase. Mina reminds Kenji that if he leaves this to the KDF, they will kill Gigantron as it did to Noronga. Onda authorized the use of deadly force should Ultraman decide to interfere. When Kenji gets in between the KDF Gigantron, they choose to shoot him down regardless if he should get caught in the crossfire. The explosion caused Ultraman and Gigantron to plummet into the ocean. Kenji wakes up to find Gigantron protecting the package seconds before it dies. He quickly grabs the package and discovers it to be a Kaiju egg about to hatch. He finds a baby Kaiju, later to be named Emmy, inside it when KDF shows up searching for the egg. Worried about what they do to her, Kenji escapes with Emmy underwater and returns to his base. Mina was shocked to discover that Kenji had returned with an infant, Kaiju, which she claims no one had ever found, not even the great Hayao and Emiko Sato, the foremost experts on Kaiju. Mina suspects that Emmy has imprinted on him and has grown attached. Kenji suggests taking her back to Kaiju Island, but Mina explains that neither his parents nor the KDF know where it is. Kenji asks Mina to put the rampaging Emmy inside a containment chamber while he figures out what to do. Kenji has his hands full with Emi, who doesn't seem to settle down. Unable to withstand the relentless crying, Kenji shows her that he is Ultraman. They try to feed it with normal food when she grows hungry, but she spits it out. They later discover that she can echolocate when she's eyeing her prey. Kenji is then forced to go outside and catch fish to feed her. Tired from being awake overnight, Mina reminds Kenji that he has a game to go to. He orders Mina to babysit, who is later forced to have her watch some kid's show on TV. Despite his best efforts, Kenji doesn't do well in his game. Mina tells him that while she continues to search for Kaiju Island, he would have to commit to raising the baby Emi, much to his dismay. Kenji gets into a slump over the next couple of weeks, and the Giants are on an all-time low with a losing streak. He struggles to balance time for sports, rest, and raising a baby Kaiju. His coach calls him over to tell him that if he continues to play poorly, he will have to be traded to the Tigers. Struggling with raising a child of his own, Kenji gets advice from the one person he knows who manages to do her job and raise her kid, Ami Wakita. He quickly calls her and agrees to talk to him in exchange for a follow-up interview. She explains that raising kids is not easy and claims that they have hearts and minds of their own. Now it falls onto them as parents to support them as they discover who they are and want them to be. When he realizes that baby Emi is interested in baseball, Kenji tries to connect with her by playing a quick ball game. Following his promises, Kenji meets Ami for another interview while Mina babysits Emi. Ami figures him out and explains that despite all the accolades and achievements, all he really wanted was for his father to notice him. Everything was going well when Emi suddenly got an acid reflux that shoots out lasers from its mouth. As she breaks through the glass chamber, Emi goes on a rampage and escapes outside. When Kenji realizes what's happening, he runs out on Ami, claiming to handle a family emergency. Emi follows a blimp with Kenji's advertisement to the city, where she quickly becomes the headline. Onda and the KDF also get wind of the baby and head out to capture it. Kenji catches up but struggles to call out to it, worried about what people would think if they discover he is raising a kaiju. He climbs up after her on Tokyo Tower while the KDF closes in on them, intent on capturing the creature. The KDF sends out drones after Emi and shoots her with a handful of tranquilizers. Kenji manages to catch her when she falls off the tower. Onda demands that he surrender the baby, but he instead escapes with her. Worried that Emi is hurt, Kenji willingly orders Mina to call his dad for help. Kenji's father is surprised to find an infant Kaiju, to which Kenji begs him to help her. After analyzing the serum, Mina determined it was a powerful sedative, yet harmless. Kenji's father then asks Mina to synthesize more when he discovers Emi has a broken arm. After distracting her with Kenji's old toy doll, they quickly patch the broken arm. Meanwhile, back at KDF headquarters, Onda looks at old videos of his family before Gigantron killed them 20 years ago. Captain Aoshima apologizes for failing to capture the baby kaiju, but Onda claims they have obtained important information. After confirming the baby's ability to echolocate, he believes they can use her to track it back to Kaiju Island, where they will destroy all of the kaijus once and for all. Hayao explains that Onda is determined and will not stop until he captures Emi or is killed. Mina explains that they plan to return her to Kaiju Island, but the location still eludes them. Hayao explains that she would still need a parent to survive, or she would quickly die from natural causes or be prey to the other kaiju. He then claims that they would need to raise her as a mother would to ensure her survival. That said, Hayao and Mina quickly work up a training regimen to help Emi fight off any predator that might come for her. With his father helping to raise Emi, Kenji slowly gets time to focus on his baseball. Instead of hogging the spotlight, Kenji spends more time with the team, helping them with their baseball. Eventually, his efforts bear fruit as the Giants finally break their losing streak and win the season. Hayao thinks it would be good to spend some time away from the city and take Kenji and Emi into the mountains to their old home. Kenji discovers that his father did look for his mother, much to his relief. It was later revealed that Kenji was obsessed with baseball, after he remembered that one time his father was so happy catching the legendary baseball player Matsui's home run ball. Nostalgia gets the better of them as they talk about the good old times. Hayao explains that on the night Gigatron attacked, he was so focused on protecting them both that it was the first time his color timer didn't go off. He then claims he is proud of Kenji for doing what they couldn't do, bridging the gap between humans and kaiju. Suddenly, they see lights in the sky and discover that the KDF has finally caught up to them. Emi manages to shoot them all down, but Hayao worries that more are coming. When they are about to leave, Emi slowly weakens and enters into a cocoon, to which Hayao claims she is transforming. Just as they feared, more drones show up and rain down missiles on them. When his father gets caught in the crossfire, Kenji furiously transforms into Ultraman and destroys the remaining drones. A crashed drone managed to fire a homing beacon, which the KDF then used to triangulate their location. Captain Aoshima claims that Project Surrogate is soon to be completed, which, given the name, implies that it was built to destroy the other kaijus. Kenji watches over his unresponsive father and cocoon-like Emi, worried about them. Suddenly, Kenji hears a roar in the distance when the monster cocoon suddenly hatches, and Emi emerges with wings. As Emi seems distracted by the monster's roar, Kenji is surprised to find a much-alive Gigantron, which Emi quickly flies towards. He decides to chase after her, but a bombardment of missiles suddenly attacks them. Although he survives the attack, Mina has received severe damage, and there are no traces of his father after the explosion. Before Mina completely powers down, she claims that although he is a great baseball player, he is always destined to be Ultraman. She tells him that he has inherited his parents' great qualities, his mother's sense of humor and directness, and his father's quiet strength. In her last moments, she tells Kenji that Emi's tracking device is still active and urges him to save her. Kenji catches up to Emi, who leads the mechanical Gigantron and the KDF to Kaiju Island and fights them off. When Emi gets caught in the crossfire, Kenji furiously charges at the enemy when he is surprised to discover that Gigantron might still be alive after all. As Kenji's color timer goes off, he reverts into a human and falls underwater. Suddenly, Hayao picks him up, having transformed into Ultra Dad. Gigantron is ordered to attack them again. Emi gets through to her mother, who resists the brainwashing and breaks free. Onda orders Captain Aoshima to abandon the ship and have everyone retreat in escape pods while he commandeers the ship to a suicide mission. He then attacks Ultraman with everything he's got and transforms into a giant mecha. As they duke it out in a melee, Onda blows Kenji away, and Hayao furiously charges at him. Overwhelming him, Onda was about to finish Hayao off when Kenji returned to the battlefield and ripped him apart with Emi and Gigantron help. As they clash with their ultimate attacks, Kenji falls back down when he feels pain from his loose rotator cuff. With his father's help, Kenji could use Ultraman's finisher attack Spacium Beam, which Emi and Gigantron also attack with their charged blasts to destroy Onda's robot. Having lost all hope, Onda activates the self-destruct mechanism, to which Kenji quickly runs to contain the explosion within his shield, to which amazed witnesses, seeing Ultraman risk his life to save them. Ami gets a final interview with Kenji after leading the Giants to their first championship in years. Even Coach Shimura was impressed and described him as the greatest player he has coached. Kenji acknowledges that his parents helped him become the man he is now. He then later plays a recording of his mother's words of hope that always uplifts him when he is down. Meanwhile, somewhere on the ocean, Kenji and his father accompany Emi and Gigantron to return to Kaiju Island. In an end credit scene, Kenji receives a distress signal from his mother, who claims to still be alive and asks for his help in returning. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.